And I don't know if my microphone is working.
It is working.
Oh, snap. All right. Did we somehow fix our issue?
I didn't do anything.
Drew and JC are here. We have a cool episode here coming up. We're going to just, without further ado, kick it over to the guest, let him introduce himself, and then we'll get into it.
All right. Well, hello, guys. Ronald Black, part owner and co-founder of Black Ave Films. That's Black Ave Films. And I've been doing this for, we'll say, a year and a half, making films. Our first short was made in March of 2024, named MonsterCon Massacre, and it was not very good, but it was a stepping stone to what we're doing now. We've got a YouTube platform with a bunch of episodes of a series we call Flicker on it. And we just finished and have our latest, which is Swine and Dine, in about 100 film festivals.
Wow.
So, and now we're jumping on to our next project, which is a short for an anthology. The short is called Fragmented Mind, and it's about a PTSD victim, ex-military female, and it's going to be quite brutal.
Right on. I like brutality in my horror movies for sure.
I like police brutality.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so like I watched Swine and Dine, I don't know, maybe 2 hours ago, and I was actually pretty impressed. The light work in that movie is exceptional, like pro quality light work in there, and it even ended in a way like I wasn't paying attention to how long it was running. I was just watching it, and it ended so abruptly that I was like, oh, I kind of want another half an hour of this, you know. And I just want to say my favorite quote is, "I'm being held by a psycho pig man and his crazy bitch wife."
I'm glad you enjoyed that part. Now, like I said, everybody that watched it has the same reaction. They're like, I need more. I was expecting so much more, which is a good thing, because that once I started hearing that, I already wrote the script for the full-length feature, which will start production on next year. So that's what I needed to hear.
Awesome. And then like I was even questioning, like, were you guys getting like PETA money for that?
We were not. No, we got. I wish we did, but I mean, it's. I told my partner Chris Avellino that I'm like, you know what? We could sell this idea to PETA, and probably they would fund it.
Oh my god, yeah. I was super PETA themed.
Big time.
Yeah, go ahead and reach out to them. Maybe they'll fund the entire feature.
We might. We just might. I mean, for the feature, definitely. Like, we'll send it to them. Like, what do you think of this? Even though it's brutal on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they walk around and throw the paint and blood on people and stuff. So I gotta imagine they might maybe be intrigued by the idea of doing like.
Well, there's
movies.
There's two PETAs. There's PETA 1 and PETA 2, and PETA 2 fights with PETA 1. Because like
no idea.
Really? Vaccines, because they're this was like 10 years ago that like the founder of PETA was like getting vaccinated with vaccines that were tested on animals, and PETA 1 took offense to that, so he split away and started PETA 2. So there's like two PETAs now.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
the funding possibility.
And I gotta say, I can't my memory is really bad, even short term. But the character of like the pigman, the husband,
right?
The artistic work, the body, the face, and everything was like, you know what it reminded me of? It reminds me of like an early 2000s like horror video game.
Oh wow, that's. Like, I've never heard. That's a good comparison, though. I enjoy it.
It gives me like Resident Evil kind of vibes a little bit.
I mean, now that you mention it, maybe Manhunt even. If you remember Manhunt.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. No, that's a good correlation there. So I'm not crazy. That was a muscle suit, right? He wasn't like.
No, that's his body.
Wow.
Okay. He's not the.
The only thing he didn't have were those extra nipples. I made those.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast and everything.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
Us with extra nipples are very appreciative. So
we should all have extra nipples for the next episode.
There you go.
Yeah. Like like the Batman Forever ones too. But yeah, so that dude's just like super jacked because I like the whole time that it didn't just like it looked incredibly like fake. I don't know. Even from behind, it almost looked like there was like something around the neck that I was like, okay, yeah, that's definitely a suit. But no, this dude's just like incredibly jacked.
Yeah, that's his real body. His name is Mark Haynes, and he was in the movie Stream. That's how I became friends with him.
Yeah, right on. All right, so you're relatively new to this. Like, what inspired you to start making movies?
Oh wow, that was like I said, I started the whole Terrifier phenomenon that was happening. We were at a convention, me and my family, and Terrifier 2 had just come out. And before that, I already knew who made Terrifier and the Levies and Fuzz on the Lands and all those guys. I saw them at the cons because they live close by. And my son saw one of the kids that was in the Clown Cafe scene. And I'm like, no, that can't possibly be him. But then we walked up to him, we started talking to him, and it was him. And he had an Indiegogo launched for a short that he was doing called Pretty Face. And my son wanted to be in it. So I threw the money up to have my son as part of the feature or the short. And then I kicked in money to be a producer. We were on set having a good time. I was watching and learning. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then I did the same. The Levy boys told me about another project called Boy from Below, which is premiering at ScareCon in Syracuse, New York in a couple of weeks, and also in Indianapolis. But that me and my son were on set for that, and I was watching and learning, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. And then right after that, I'm like, you know what? This looks like something I can probably do. So I went out, bought some cheap equipment, wrote a little script, filmed it at a actual horror convention, and had me and my friend edited it, went through everything, and next thing you know, we're like, ooh, we thought it was the greatest thing we've ever done. And then we watch it now, and we're like, ugh, God, I can't believe we made this. But it's kind of like a comedy. Like after we watch, we're like, this is not horror as much as we would like it to be. It's more of a comedy. And then right after that weekend that the next horror convention, we filmed a little series of 3-4 minute shorts in a stairwell of just death scenes, kill scenes, and turned that into a little series. And next thing you know, we're like, okay, let's do another short, another short, another short. And we just, each time we did it, we got better and better and better, got better equipment. And now we're just like on a roll. We've got friends in pretty good places. So it's like, hey, could you help us out? No problem.
Yeah, that's sweet. Flickr is awesome. I really have enjoyed watching that. I watched the 4 episodes. I don't know if there's maybe more that I haven't seen yet.
There's actually 9 more episodes that we're like I said, we're so busy right now. We haven't had time to edit everything. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we will get another one of those out, but each one of those keeps getting better and more intricate. And I'm doing all the special effects work in all those. So it's like, I'm doing that. I'm writing the script, directing it. I think it's fun, but it's also a lot of stress. But
Oh, yeah,
I love
absolutely.
every second of it.
Man, I got to give you mad props for I think it's episode 3 when what is it, the faucet or
Oh,
whatever goes into
yep.
the gut and then the blood is pouring out of it like water coming into a bathtub. That was sick. And when I was watching that, I was like, I have to figure out how to steal that because that is awesome.
But believe it or not, me and my partner, we just sit there and go, how can we kill somebody that hasn't been done before? Hey, what about let's try this? Hey, let's try this. Let's try this. And we just brainstorm all, like I said, because all these kills have been done over and over and over, and they get boring. You know, you like blood, so you don't mind seeing it every now and then. But when we're coming up with an idea, we want it to be fresh. And when my partner came up, he's like, "What about a faucet? What if we stabbed them in?" I thought the neck because there's more blood in the neck, and then he's like, "Nah, that would be a little bit too tough to do. What about the gut?" I'm like, "I love it. Let's do it." We did the rig. My friend made the rig, and I pumped the blood through it.
I've had terrible luck with that type of rig. We tried it in the last movie that we did, and it was just like a complete and utter failure. So what we ended up doing was we took a like a big syringe, and we just was like we were holding it behind this dude's hand, and like his fingers were gonna get cut off was the gag, and then the blood was gonna shoot up, and it like looked good in person, like when we were doing it, but actually it was on camera. It looks terrible, and you can barely see it. So we ended up just scrapping it, and not even using it. But anytime we've ever tried to do a rig like that, I'm just not good at engineering it. So it's like super impressive to see it done in that regard.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
I don't mean to jump around or anything, but I'm going to jump back to Swine and Dine because
Yeah, go for it.
And I don't want to ruin this for anybody, so I'm going to be like kind of high level here. But the scene where the wife is biting at certain appendages actually made me a little bit uncomfortable.
I trust me, I get that a lot too because a lot of people have anti-fetish. I guess you could say like, oh my god, anything but that part of the body, anything but that part of the body. And I'm like, I love it. I love it. I mean, we thought of that. We got a friend of ours makes body parts, and we asked him for a couple of appendages, and he gave them to us. And I'm like, huh, I could rig this so that blood could shoot out of the certain part. But how would we cut? Then I came up with the snips, and then we were actually on set. We cut the first toe off. Oops, I said it. We cut it off, and then one of the producers says, "You know, it'd be cool. What if somebody bit the other one off?" And the actress Michelle Santiago goes, "I'll do it." I'm like, "Wow, that was quick. Go for it. Knock yourself out." And it looked so gorgeous in camera. Like when I was behind the camera watching, I'm like, as soon as she did that, and I called cut, I was jumping around like a kid on Christmas.
It was crazy to me how like realistic like that with like both of the legs looked because you could not tell the difference. Like it didn't look like a prop leg or anything.
It matched perfectly. I couldn't believe it either. I'm looking at it in camera going, wow. It's like hard to tell, except the one leg's not moving as much as the other one. But other than that, it looked dead on perfect.
It did. Absolutely.
If you don't mind, I mean, I know magicians aren't supposed to reveal how they do their tricks, but how do you do the blood rigs?
Which one on the leg?
No, just like in general. Like I like that one, and I mean, it seems like you have them in pretty much all of the Flickr episodes too. I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've got hoses. I've got like yards and yards of hose of PVC hoses, and depends on what size I want to use. For the Flickr one, we used like a 3/4 inch hose and we ran that through the upper body, back behind the neck to a rig that was around his stomach, and I had like one of those bug sprayers But now
Okay.
I kind of had to up my game because I didn't like the way the bug sprayers were working. So I got myself a fire extinguisher, a pressurized fire extinguisher. So now for all my rigs now, I just use that. And talk
Okay.
about blood
Okay.
coming out. It explodes out of wounds now.
All right. I'm gonna have to write that one down. Fire extinguisher. We'll have to save that one
It's
for
okay. Drew doesn't know how to write, so it's all right.
the dyslexia. Yeah, coming from him though. If you only
Yeah,
knew
but
this kid.
I actually went to a special effects class in California, the end of January this year. And the guy that ran that was Robert Bravo, he's been doing a lot of special effects for Jason Horton and other people. And he's like, fire extinguishers are the best thing because you can contain them and you can just release the pressure as hard or as soft as you want by the pressure on the handle. And oh my God, the amount of blood that comes out of those when you really squeeze down on it is massive.
That is a really neat technique that I had honestly never heard of until right now.
So wait, how does that work? Like, do you empty the fire extinguisher
Okay.
first, or
As a matter of fact, hold on a second, guys.
All right. He is.
fuck it, we're doing it live?
Here's the fire extinguisher. And it's got a hose that connects to this. And this thing actually, you can buy these on Amazon for like $170. And you unscrew it. The whole nozzle comes out.
Ah, okay.
And you pour whatever you want into the hole at the top. Put everything back in. Screw it down. And there's a little nozzle on the side here. You can just, whatever you use to pump up your car tire, goes right in here. Put about 25 pounds of pressure in, and you'll get blood gushing.
All right.
All right. So
Nice.
cut that.
All right.
Secrets, we keep those internally.
Right. Yeah. Wow, man. I've never heard of that at all.
I haven't either.
I have even watching any of the.
Yeah, go ahead. When I first bought that, I gave it a try and I pumped it up and shot water and blood out of it. It must have went like 30, 40 feet.
This is Blue Man grouping on the big one. This is the splatter zone. Gene Simmons, the first 4 rows of the blood zone. So yeah, man. What I had such a banger question, dude. That happens to me all the time too. I have so many concussions. JC, if you want to take over and I'll remember my question after.
What do you think I have? Not concussions, or what do we think's going on here? So I'm gonna jump back to Swine and Dine because
man,
I really enjoyed that. And again, I thought I want another half an hour of this. So when you were doing the face makeup for I'm sorry, the name's escaping me. What was this? Was this Hammy?
Hampton, yeah, Hammy or Hampton.
Yeah. So when you were doing the face makeup for that, it did not even look like. And I don't mean this to offend anybody, but sometimes you get kind of the cheesy, where you can see the seams and stuff on the face. How did you guys get that blended in so nicely where it actually really legitimately looked like a
it's
Pigman?
Believe it or not, I bought that mask, that prosthetic off of Amazon for $70. And it fit the actor pretty good, but I had a special effects master on set. He actually was on one of the a couple of the face-off shows, and he put that on both days. And like I said, when I looked at it, I could barely tell that it was a prosthetic. It looked actually like it was real. He used
it blended in with like his facial hair.
Yeah, he put liquid latex around the edges and blended everything in with makeup and tissues.
Yeah, it was crazy because like you could see where like he had like stubble and stuff, but like it just blended like so perfectly in there. It didn't look like it was just like boom, you know, like this like cut off around the face. And then there's some other scenes that I really liked. I really liked the drone shots.
Okay.
That you guys were doing. Like at the beginning when the car's driving, or like even later on when it pans up to like the barn.
Yeah, so we had one of the people, the guy that did the lighting, the team that did the lighting, Trimungus. He has a drone license, and we're like, we would love a drone shot. He's like, let's do it. Took it up there, and we followed the car around like for miles, and we just cut that together.
Wait, Trimungus, is he a part of Guar?
I wish. It's a husband and wife production team. They do lighting. They make films too, and we worked with them on another film, and we started talking to them, and we're like, every time we need something, we call them because they're so good at what they do. Like I said, you enjoyed the lighting. That was all them.
Wow.
I was gonna ask that was where my question was coming from. I was going to ask, because the lighting, as he said, looks so professionally done and so well done, and I love the hues and stuff. So I was going to actually inquire the process of coming up with that lighting scheme.
Yeah, I knew that we wanted like red and blue backlights for like most of the shots, and we told them about it. And Jessica Jett, who's one of the Trimungus people, she's a master at color. She also does color editing on all. She color edited the whole movie, so she knows what she's doing when it comes to color, and she just set everything up to where it looked perfect on set.
Yeah, towards the end, there's like that final shot of like the barn where it like raises up a little bit with like the barn in the background, and everything else is so dark. And then the barn is like this intense red color. Oh God, why am I zooming in? Sorry, AI camera, go away. Stop zooming in. But that was like the cherry on the top for like atmospheric. I don't want to say horror, but for like just for the atmosphere, that there was like this intensely red barn, and then like everything else was really dark and a little bit blue behind it.
Believe it or not, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Most of that was AI. Like the barn was, we had a barn originally in this shot, and the guy that we gave it to finish up the sound and the color, he inserted a picture of a barn, and AI just took over, made the barn what it was. If you actually look in the windows, you can see there's nothing behind the window. It goes right into sky.
Didn't even notice.
But it looks so good and so real that I'm like, wow, this, and the way that it pans up and out with the black sky behind it was gorgeous.
Oh, it was awesome.
It's so weird how one piece of AI can look that good, and then the next
everything else is slop.
Yeah, like here's 7 fingers and 6 hands.
Just ignore me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this thing back out.
Or even that his camera. He can't quite get that camera to even cooperate, but you had like this sickest looking barn. You're just gonna have to zoom in on your chubby cheeks, man.
See, what we learned early on is if you've got a good team behind you, everything else gets so much easier. Because then you don't just rely on yourself. If you have trust in somebody else's skill and you just let them roll with things, like I said, these two for Trimungus, Mark Sorrow and Jessica Jett, we became such a good team that now we're like, okay, we've got a project coming up. You guys are like, oh yeah, we want in. And when they have a project, they call us to help them. So it's like a collaboration now.
I thought the guy that Drew, shut up.
I'm usually the one that talks.
I know. I'm sorry, but I watched this and like I'm interested. The guy at the beginning that was like working at the pork plant, the guy with the white beard, and was talking to
Robert Todd Kennedy.
That performance was. I almost thought it was going to be. I'll be honest. I thought it was going to be like a cheesy kind of thing at first, but it turned out like this is just some guy working at a plant. Like it worked out so good. Like talking to her on the phone, and then that random dude that like pulls over to try to help her, and she's like, "Oh, this misogyny, mansplaining broken down cars to me."
Like I said, we threw some stuff. Like I made it like kind of real because if somebody stopped to, and she was made out to be this bitch who was sent there just at all costs. She's going to get these animals, and like I said, from the second she got into the car to the second everything finished, we had her play this crazy bitch, and she's like the nicest person on the planet. She didn't want to speed. Like she pulled out of the parking lot in the beginning, and she was scared to death. She's like, "Oh my God, I never drive like this." Yeah, she's like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Yeah, she even says that like when she's on the phone.
But it's just like everybody came together and made this thing it was a pleasure to shoot. Like I said, there was the weather. Oh my God. Let me tell you, the hardest part of shooting that stuff was there was two things. We shot that over 2 days. And the first day was gorgeous. We filmed this the week before Thanksgiving. And the first day it was gorgeous. It was like 65 degrees during the day. And it hadn't rained in like 8 months in New Jersey, in the area. And by 8 o'clock, when the sun went down, it was like a monsoon. It rained so hard. We had to shut the production down because we were inside the barn and it's got a tin roof. And it was raining so hard that you couldn't hear yourself talk. And that you need good sound. I mean, the sound, you could tell there's a little bit in a couple of scenes that the rain was hitting the roof. And we just had to pack things up and stop. We shut down production the one night, and the second day it was like 30 degrees outside, and we had 2 actors wearing barely any clothing, and the barn was not heated. It was 30 degrees in the barn, just like it was 30 degrees outside.
Wow.
Yeah, I can imagine that would have been rough.
But it was a little tense, but we got everything done. Everyone on set had a blast. Even the guy hanging upside down, that was probably the hardest shot we had to do because the guy's 6'2" and weighed 250 pounds.
Each.
And every time we hung him, he could only hang for like 5 minutes. And then he's like, guys. So we had to keep propping him up, taking him down. And we finally got the shots. And his mom was on set and she was freaking out. You're going to hurt my son. You're going to hurt my son. Stop. Get him down. Like, he's going to be fine. I'm not going to let anything happen to him.
That would be my mom. She would invite herself to the set and do that. Well, I think another one of my favorite scenes in that is when she goes to the farm and she goes up and knocks on the door and the wife answers. And then she just opens the door.
Yeah.
Herself. Like, just invites herself in. She's like, all right, door open.
That originally wasn't supposed to be that way, but every time she opened the door, it squeaked something fierce. So we're like, look, just when she opens the one door, open the door real fast, like you want to break into the house, and just hold it open. So
I mean, I can't blame them for like kidnapping her and that because like she kind of broke in.
If you look at it like that, yeah, she just like ripped open the door and says, "I'm coming in your house."
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that final couple seconds where they reveal that there's a son involved and he like drops down, and I was like, I want to see more of this kid.
Yeah, I think there's a good opportunity for a spinoff there.
Actually, the junior character is going to be in the full length. he's a more vital character. Like, he's in the woods for a reason. He's the one that, like, he scouts the woods for trespassers, and he reports back to the family that there's people in the woods. That's why he's out there in a scarecrow outfit.
Sweet.
But that was me. I'm the one that jumped off the fence.
Oh,
really?
okay.
You were convincing as a 14-year-old kid, I would say. Yeah, absolutely, he was going to ask if I was like your son or something.
Oh yeah, when I actually do the feature, it's going to either be my son or I've got another kid in mind to play junior. But I'm like, I can't do that anymore. Like jumping off a fence 6 foot high off the ground. I'm 56 years old. That after a while it starts to hurt.
Yeah, it gave me really like Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation vibes at that point. Like whenever he was jumping down the fence and like coming to his family.
All right, I like it.
I mean, even the color scheme is very reminiscent of that as well. Now that you bring that up, that might have been why it spoke to me the way it did.
We tried to make it like a straight up grindhouse style movie where like the colors pop and like everything's in your face. So go back to like the 80s filming and the 70s crazy horrors.
I think the thing I liked the most about it was like, so I don't mean this as a knock as other people making horror movies, but sometimes stuff is so over the top that it's like what am I even watching, you know? And this was like concise. It all tied in together and it ended. I mean, I wish there was more, but it ended in a way that respectful is not the right word. That's what I want to say. But it ended in a way that wasn't like, this was kind of stupid, you know, like it wasn't dumb at all. And everything like tied in together. And for as short of a feature as it was, I thought, you know, like I kind of want to show this to people. Like I'm gonna like make other people watch this. Like I'll make my dad watch this weekend when he comes out.
No, knock yourself out. Like I said, we want people to see it. If we didn't have it in all these film festivals, we definitely would have. Like Film Hub actually contacted us and was like, "Yo, we want to try to get this on Tubi, or we want to try to get it out on the platforms." And then once they found out that we have it in like. I put it in everything I possibly could. Now I'm regretting doing it because I said it's only short, but like I said, I get turned down. Like I don't even worry about getting turned down for festivals. I mean, I even put it in Sundance just to see what happens. At this point, I'm like, whatever. You never know.
Does that get a little expensive? Like, doesn't it kind of cost money to Sundance especially, or am I misremembering that?
It does. If I told you, let me see here. I actually spent. I went over the numbers a couple of weeks ago because I'm like, I spent like $2,500 on festivals.
Wow.
And I didn't even realize it. I'm just like, oh, festival. I'm like, holy shit, where'd all my money go?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an investment though. Like that should theoretically pay off in viewership and marketing that comes with all of that. This festival. You throw that on every poster that you do.
Exactly. That's the only reason that I'm like, I don't mind it, because if it gets selected, then you can throw those laurels up on the poster. And like I said, if you've got 20 laurels on a poster that says you were selected in all these like film festivals, especially, we're killing it overseas. I can't believe how much Europe is tearing up. Like it's like everything I sent over to Europe, Italy, Spain. What else? We won one in Norway. I'm like, it's crazy. I'm like, okay, I'll just keep sending stuff to them because I guess they can't get good horror over there.
No, they can't. They have never been able to. I mean, that was the Video Nasty era where everything that was made on this side was edited heavily, and so
Mm.
that area of the world, literally up until like the boutique Blu-rays that we have now, uh, even the Shameless Video, they couldn't get actual fully uncut versions of the movies, and that's what kind of made Italy's horror scene such a big deal,
Yeah.
because they didn't fall under that censorship. So the Italians were just able to not only create like all of this zany nonsense and put all of the blood and gore that they wanted, but they also were able, due to their laws, to just like rip everything off, which is how we got Zombie 2 and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's that we know a guy who does a horror magazine, and it's like a self-published horror magazine in America. That's it's as niche as it gets, but they sell it in stores in Europe because people in that part of the world are just, to this day, starved of good horror content.
I mean, I would say UK, Italy, and Serbia are like the only countries that really like produce like decent horror films. And outside of that, like, you have Eastern Europe and you have like Germany, Belgium, and like some France and like the Western countries. There's nothing coming out of there.
I mean, I get like the way things are going for us. I'm like, as soon as we won a festival in Spain, in Barcelona. We came in second and third in Italy. I'm like, wow, this is nuts. And this is like, those were the first festivals that we entered, and I didn't expect anything out of them. And next thing you know, it's like, and then even Cannes World Film Festival, we made it all the way up to a finalist.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, I did that for a joke. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to enter it in Cannes. And then when it got all the way up to a final, like we were top 5, I'm like, wow, really blows my mind.
That's always fun when that happens. Like, as a joke, I emailed the Pope to try to get him onto our podcast, and we never heard back. But and I always joke, like,
we have a new Pope now, so we might hear back.
Pope. There's an intern at the Vatican that had to read my dumb email. that was like, you should come onto our stupid little podcast, and like completely sell it as a way to bring the Pope on. But yeah, when that can actually work out and not backfire like that, like, so are you planning to make any trips to that part of the world if these festivals work out and you end up becoming like a finalist or winner?
I wish I could. Like I said, if it wasn't so expensive, I probably would, because I would love to go to Spain and Italy and just do a little tour of like, hey, here I am. I made that movie. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Believe it or not, like I said, I was never like this. I was always the shy guy. Like, I would never like want to speak publicly, but now it's like, now that I've got involved in this, I have to, because if I don't go out there and I don't like parade for myself, nobody else will. So I have to be the publicist.
Yeah, and that's something with like all indie film, really, at this level, where like you're the publicist, you do the marketing, you're writing, you're directing. You said that you did the editing. You have a partner that you work with, but I mean, ultimately, a lot of the success of a movie that you're like advertising at this level, man, it lives and dies on your shoulders. So like all of that effort that you're putting into, like it's cool to see it pay off.
No, it definitely. I have. If we would have talked a year ago, I would not have believed any of this could possibly happen. Like I said, we were new, we were barely known. Now I could go to places in. Where are you guys based out of anyway?
Well, I'm in Pennsylvania and he's in Ohio.
Okay, so
yeah.
So I'm like, we're branched. Like, people now know who we are in Texas, Indianapolis, definitely Ohio, and like it's like we're just spreading. St. Louis, we're spreading west, and it's crazy. It's like a wave. I would never have guessed it. And that's all because of social media. My presence on social media, constantly sharing on Facebook and Instagram, going to sets and talking to people on set. It's like I just grow. Like every week, I just grow more and more. So I can't. And a year ago that would not have been me.
Yeah. I mean, have you reached out to any horror conventions to be a featured guest or anything of that nature? Because I think that'd be like a cool full circle thing, since you said you kind of got into the movies from going to these horror conventions, and with Damien Leone's Terrifier 2 being so huge, like that was your inspiration. So I think that would be like kick ass to see you at a convention as not as a guest, like not as a patron, but as like here's a featured guest.
Actually, me and my partner have been to we've had tables at a few cons in the last 4 months. It would be nice to actually be asked. Like said, I know a lot of people, so like, oh yeah, you can have it. You can have a table. I did Days of the Dead in Indianapolis. We did New Jersey Horror Con a couple of times. We have a vampires convention that we're guests at in New Jersey in a couple of months. So it's coming around, and I love talking to people about it when they come up and I have to explain what Swine and Dine is or what any of our short films are. I just get into it. As you can tell right now, I just get into it.
Yeah. Is it wrong if Drew, shut up. Is it wrong of me to say that like Indianapolis is almost like a hotbed for like upcoming independent horror movies?
I would say Indianapolis and Ohio. There's a lot of talented directors and writers and filmmakers in Ohio, like Columbus and Dayton. They're like I said, I'm trying to get to Horror Hound in a couple of weeks. That's in Cincinnati. A couple of people that I know are going to be there, so who knows?
Go to a Reds game for me and make sure they win.
I'm assuming the Reds are bad. I don't know anything about Cleveland baseball or
that's
Cincinnati, but nice try.
I corrected myself.
Barely.
Dude, I'm from Pittsburgh, man. I don't pay attention to baseball because if I did, I'd have to go jump off a bridge.
Well, there's like 52 of them you can jump off of, so you have a choice.
Exactly.
True.
We're both from Pennsylvania. Drew and I have known each other for 20 years, probably close to 20 years. And he lives in like the middle of the state, and then I took off and ran to Cleveland for some reason that I'm still not aware of. So you're in Jersey then, right? Is that where?
Yeah, like I said, I was born in Philly, so I'm like 10 minutes over the river, I guess you could say. So yeah, we technically consider ourselves Philadelphia. So
I got you. Yeah, I'll keep my eye out because I don't live all that far away. So if you're ever, doing a project or something and need a hand or have a role, I would, jump in the car and help out any way I could. I always enjoy, that same aspect of meeting people and learning on the trade and things of that nature.
Speaking of the Phillies, how do you feel about Lenny Dykstra?
How do I feel about Lenny Dykstra?
Yeah.
I said he's kind of like a Philly staple. He's all kind of weird now. Like going off the rails.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually I met him very shortly one time. The nicest guy, but he's absolutely insane.
I don't know if it's the steroids.
I think he would be if you could get him in a movie.
Oh,
like a baseball murderer movie. Like I think he would fit in very well with that.
Oh man, what was that '90s pro wrestling gimmick that was a baseball player that had his face painted
The
and stuff.
Brooklyn Brawler.
Nah, there's a dude like his face was like actually like painted like a baseball. It was real stupid, but that would be great for like a horror, like a short film.
Yeah,
Right?
Lenny Dykstra murders everybody. That's what the movie's called.
Oh, okay. By the way, I wanted to talk about that beheading. That was sick too. I really enjoyed that. What was it? Was that in Swine and Dine, or am I confusing it with?
Talking about the head smash.
Yeah. That was something I wanted to bring up, and I didn't want to forget about that because we kind of moved on from the special effects. But that was kick ass. I like that.
Yeah, that was the guy. That was a little bit of visual effects. The guy who did the Terrifier 2 and 3 movie, the visual effects and all that. He's the one who did that scene. He's the one who put the made it look real. Like all we did is smash a melon with hair on it with a cinder block.
I love the melon smash.
He made it look real.
It looked very real.
Yeah, man. The melon smash is my favorite gag, I think, in low budget horror.
I actually didn't even think it was gonna happen because, like I said, like I wasn't paying attention to the timing of the movie, like how long it had been on. So I thought it like something was gonna happen to stop it. And try not to ruin this for everybody. Everybody needs to go watch this. But when it happened, I was shut up, Siri. Sorry. You know, like you can smash melons, you can like hit blood bags, you can do all kinds of different stuff. But the way that like the cinder block came down and actually like hit like the table or whatever she was laying on, like made that so much more realistic than if it was just like.
Yeah. I said when we filmed that, I was set up on that table straddling the actress, and when he slammed that cinder block down, the whole table, the camera, it all shook. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I didn't ruin the shot with that, because he slammed it hard. The whole table moved. I'm surprised the cinder block didn't break.
Yeah, I mean, you could run into that, but it looked killer. It was good gag in camera. Again, your team, it's great. Like this group that you've managed to put together and work with, it's almost like a dream team too. Like you're like, yeah, here you are working with the Terrifier dudes, and like you said, like that was kind of the inspiration for you to get into this stuff. Like, how did you end up networking and starting to work with them?
It's like I said, just going to conventions. Like I said, I became pretty good friends with Mike Levy. He was one of the producers for the Terrifier. He's actually Will the Exterminator that gets his head cut off in the first one. And I said, we just became friends, and now we're like, every time there's a con and he's there, I'll go and I'll sit at his table with him. We'll talk, we'll discuss things, and it's like we're just friends. And if I need anything, he'll help me out with things, and I'll help him out. So it's, like I said, it's a great network.
Yeah, for sure. It's also like a really good source of inspiration knowing that Damien was still working as a florist when Terrifier 2 came out. Like it's not like out of the realm of possibility that regular people with a vision can succeed and get that vision out there. And Terrifier being such a hit right now is just like refreshing to have that as an example. Like, yeah, if you're talented and you work hard, but sometimes things can actually work out for you.
If you have a good idea, something that's fresh and new and hasn't really been done before, the doors are wide open. Like, who would have thought the Terrifier 3 would make $100 million?
Right? Yeah. Completely independent and on his own.
Yep.
Like and to have the balls to do it that way when you have studios knocking at your door at this point, trying to get into your brain and steal some of your IP just to kind of get some of that cash flow going too. Like, it's a respectable in that regard too, because in the independent filmmaking, it's not typically that successful. I mean, outside, like, New Line's been going forever. I mean, we still have Trauma. I don't know if Full Moon technically counts as fully independent or not, but like, it's on that grand scale, it just doesn't really exist anymore. So it's super refreshing to have that. And now that there's like this whole new class of filmmakers out there inspired by it that are now rolling with the punches too.
So as a matter of fact, like today, I was just talking to my partner, and I'm like, we're going to start comparing ourselves to Matt and Trey, the South Park guys, because I was listening to an interview they had, and somebody asked them, "Is like, what are you afraid to do? Like, what would be jaded for you guys to do? Is there anything that's off limits?" And they're like, nothing. If it can be done and it can create drama or it can create thought, like, we're doing it. We just want to create a rise in people. And I'm like, there you go. That's exactly what I'm looking to do. If people are afraid to do it, I'm going to do it.
Except for the band Muhammad episode and a couple of the Scientology episodes. But that wasn't them. That was Comedy Network that Comedy Central that banned those episodes.
They were not on Paramount either now.
Nope, they took those down.
HBO Max had them on, so it's kind of annoying. But so the short thing, is that something that you were doing to kind of like grit your teeth and learn on the go, or was like short storytelling something that appealed to you in a different way?
I just want to say that I think shorts are great because
it doesn't
they're super underrated because like they don't require like a 2-hour investment to sit down and watch. And like when you tell a story like you did in Swine and Dine, where I can, sit down and watch it in like a half an hour, 20 minutes or whatever it is, that is more personal to me than me sitting and watching like 2 hours where I'm like falling asleep on the couch or something, like.
I mean, we're doing shorts because they're cheaper to make, especially the flickers. We spend the only money we spend on flickers is we rent a hotel for a weekend, and we just kill whoever wants to die that weekend. Hey, you want to be in a movie? Sure, let's go kill you.
You might want to reword that.
You want to die in a film?
Yeah. Hey, you want to die?
But that's and it's not expensive. It's easy. We can shoot them in a couple of hours. We can edit them, release them in a couple of weeks, unless you're doing 4 and 5 of them at a time, and then it takes. Then you're like backing yourselves up, which is what we've done because I don't like to sit still. I'm like, all right, let's do another. Let's do another. Let's do another. That's why we have so many in the can waiting to get edited. But shorts we were learning with those. Like I said, we've only been doing this for a little over a year and a half. So to go from where we started to where we are now, it was all short, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute. And then we're like, okay, let's jump up. Let's do a 30-minute one, which is what Swine and Dine was supposed to be 30 minutes, but we want it to be good and not long. We're like, I don't care if it's 20 minutes long or 15 minutes long, as long as it's got good flow and people want more afterwards. That's all I care about. I'm not looking for a time limit. But we've done a couple of 8-minute shorts. We've done a 5-minute short. We tried to do some challenges. That's what Happy Anniversary is, if you've seen that, or Subliminal. There were challenges that we didn't win, but once we were told we didn't win or we didn't get accepted, we just cut everything together and made whatever we wanted to make. And now we're working on 3 shorts for an anthology, which is more like doing shorts, but you're connecting it with it's kind of like it's my version of a Twilight Zone. So there's going to be 3 episodes that are kind of like Twilight Zones. The old Rod Serling style.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Are you gonna have like a Rod Serling type host figure that's intertwining all of the storytelling too?
Yeah, it's gonna be hammy.
Yeah. I wish. I can't use him enough. Like I said, I would use Mark Haynes in everything I made, but I don't want him to get jaded. Like, oh, they're going to use him again, because a lot of independent people use the same people over and over and over again, and they start to go downhill because they're like, oh, they're using the same people, so it's like the same movie. I'm trying to like go different area. I'm like, I'll use this person in a couple, then I'll use this person in a couple, and I'll use this person in a couple, just to keep it fresh.
JC's having tons of technical difficulties, but that's a really good point. There are a handful of indie actors and actresses right now that you can 100% like put with this director here and this director here, and it doesn't necessarily like mean anything indicative, of a bad casting or bad storytelling or anything. But you're absolutely right that you kind of like you just kind of know there's a look here that's identifiable. And like I won't say any of them by name or anything, but you are spot on with that. So I actually really like that you're keeping it fresh and bouncing around.
Like I said, we'll probably go back to some of the like we'll use some of these actors over again, but we'll take a break first instead of using them over, because it's not even that. Like there's like the people that we use all work well together, and sometimes you don't want to break that up. If you're working well with a group of people, why not just keep working with them? Because everybody flows. There's no drama on set. Everything's just cool. Everyone has fun together. But you also don't want fans going, "Oh my God, these people again."
Yeah. I was in a movie years ago called Zombie Beasts of the Confederacy, and the person that had kind of brought me onto that team is one of the Ohio filmmakers that I think's killing it right now. His name's William Long. We featured him, I don't know how long ago, a year and a half ago, maybe at this point on the show, but he wasn't the director or anything, but he was like helping. So I would say he's more like second unit or something like that. And there was an actress that was brought in from I don't know where that big leagued us so hard about every single little thing. I had to give up my chair that I own personally that I brought to the shoot to sit on so that Princess could have her chair to sit on. Like I was like laughing at it, so it didn't bother me too much. But like, man, on a set like this where it's a dude that's paying out of pocket to film a low budget movie where 95% of us aren't being paid but just eating pizza, that the one person that was paid to be there is causing all this drama, and it's wild. It definitely can take you like out of the mood and make that seem that much harder to accomplish.
It's the truth. I've luckily for me, I haven't been on that many sets to where there was any kind of drama. So, but I know like when I choose people, I kind of like ask around. I'm like, how is this person on set? How is this person on set? I'll ask other actors, since I've got a lot of friends in all kinds of different areas. I'll be like, how's this person? How's this person? And I just go with that. I go with how a person treats other people on set. And if there's a problem with them on set, I'll be like, yeah, I'd rather go some other direction. Then I don't want to bust up a happy, cohesive set, make things worse than they have to be on set. I like everybody to be happy and having fun.
Yeah, man, and there's a fraternal feel to having that right team where everybody it feels like a brotherhood or a sisterhood or just like it's just family.
Yeah,
And like when you get that, it is hard to separate or walk away from it. And even like after time, it almost becomes like a reverse toxicity because you might then only want to work that way, and then that might eventually hinge your progress. But again, if you let that one person in, that becomes the drama, toxic, uh, annoying person. Like the whole thing could just be dragged down with it. There's like this ebb and flow to it.
yeah. I mean, people might not realize how sets work, and one person can screw up the deal for 20 or 30 people that are just sitting there. So it's you've got to sometimes you get stuck. You don't know who you've got until it's too late, and then sometimes you just got to roll with it. But then maybe I'll never use that person again.
Yeah. Well, that was a quick hour, man.
Yeah, for real.
I really want to address one more thing before we let you go because I was such a fan of it and I don't want it to go unsaid. And
how do you feel about Terminator 2?
That is not the question, and I don't appreciate your shenanigans. I'm trying to talk about serious business, right? Film, cinema.
I thought it was pretty serious.
Cinema. The woman being pissed on by her dog after she was killed in Flickr. That is great. I loved it. It was one of my favorite things that I watched. So I wanted to give props on that because I thought, like, again, that's something you just don't see.
That was a fun scene. The woman that played that got peed on, that was my partner's wife, and that was his dog that peed on her. And the hard part was trying to get the dog to lift its leg up at the right time. So we just come like, come on, come on, come on. So we kind of had to like prop its leg up a little bit, and then we squirted apple juice.
It looked very convincing. I was like, did they actually let that dog piss on her for that shot? Because that is hardcore.
I said we try to do things that people don't want to do. And so actually, you guys might like the next episode of Flickr. There is another melon.
Right on. That's definitely always
done to a teenager. So
I'll keep my eyes peeled. But dude, we hit that hour, and we always like to give our guests the final moment here to promote and plug all your stuff. So by all means, go ahead and plug away.
Oh, no problem. Well, like I said, Swine and Dine. If you go to our website, you can buy. We do have Blu-rays, and the Blu-rays do have behind the scenes. They have commentary, and they also have our last three. It's actually 4 shorts. We've got MonsterCon Massacre, which is our first. That's the one that we first did. I think it's complete trash, but funny as hell. And we've got Happy Anniversary, Subliminal, and then Swine and Dine. So it's like I said, if you go to our website, you can buy it. And also we've got Indiegogo we're going to launch next week for our next anthology, which it's a segment called Fragmented Mind, and it's got some Sammy Morningstar, Clifton Taylor, and Amber Brooke featured in it. So that's the one with the PTSD, and that's going to be brutal. It's like people are going to look at that and go, wow, does that really happen? It does. Other than that, I'm attached to a paranormal group called Astral Paranormal, where we do ghost hunting. So we're doing that this weekend.
What?
We're gonna have to have you back on.
Yeah, hold on. Wait. Yeah, we have a paranormal podcast.
No, you don't, do you?
Yeah, we do. That's how we started.
Oh my God, yeah. We've got a team of this, pretty much the same team that did Swine and Dine. They do paranormal investigations.
All right, we're gonna have
crazy.
you and everybody else in that team on in the future.
The guy that does the lighting, from Trimongous, Mark Sorrow, he wrote 4 books about paranormal investigation, and he knows his shit. So if you guys want to have like paranormal, we just got asked. Nobody knows this yet. We just got asked today to do Black Ave got asked to do a series for a Connecticut paranormal investigation. They want it, if it goes well, could go on either Screenbox, Tubi, or Shudder.
Wow,
that is fantastic,
awesome.
And we will definitely talk about that with you guys, because that's our other bag, man. That's what we do. This started because I failed at making a documentary about Art Bell. And I was like, well, if the documentary's not going to work, then I guess I'm going to just pretend to be him and start interviewing people. And that just grew and grew and grew and grew.
For the first year, that's pretty much all we did was paranormal.
So we were.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Drew.
Oh, I was gonna say, so like when we were actually starting to branch out, because like we're like independent filmmakers, we make music. I was in the pro wrestling scene for a little bit. Like it was difficult to start getting various people on, because they would check our stuff and like, what, the Bigfoot people or want to talk to me? Like I don't get it. But so it took a
although our most popular episode is still with the Catholic priest.
Yeah, the Exorcist episode where we interviewed one of the only out exorcists from the Vatican.
Father Vincent Lampert, yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah,
I see. I had no idea, because like I said, that we're just getting started with the paranormal stuff, but we've got people that have been doing it for years, and our team is like, we're doing in Middletown, Delaware. There's an event we're having where we're investigating a theater that actually, the theater is featured in a Robin Williams movie called Dead Poets Society.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was shot in this theater, and supposedly it's haunted. And believe it or not, I have seen shapes moving around in the balcony in the middle of the night. So I'm this guy I'm the naysayer. I don't believe in this stuff. And I'm like, there's somebody up there right now staring at us. So
that's cool, man.
All right, we'll have to have all of you back on. We'll have to have like
for
round
sure,
table.
for sure. But
yeah, man.
All right.
But other than that, that's like I said, I don't want to plug everything, but yeah, that's what we've got going on so far. So look, guys, I just appreciate you having me on and talking about this. You guys are like real cool. You guys are like awesome interviewers.
Nah, man, you've been awesome. I'll plug you. So Facebook, Ronald Black, Instagram, Ron_Black1223, and BlackAveFilms.com, BlackAveFilms.com. Go out, check them out. Watch Swine and Dine. Please watch Swine and Dine. I'm skeptical about everything. I'm like a negative person going into watching stuff, and I went in to watch this, and it actually turned out being an awesome experience. And it doesn't take a whole lot of time out of your life. Like, please go watch it, everybody.
And this is how you know he's being genuine, because we're going on 3 years doing this show, and he's never spoken as much as he did tonight. I'm the one that
normally when we do film stuff, I kind of let Drew talk a little bit, because Drew's way more knowledgeable about like films and movies and stuff. But when we talk about like music and video games and stuff like that, usually I chime up. But I've been like very talkative tonight. So seriously, Swine and Dine, go watch it. Yeah, it's been an awesome interview. I mean, I want you on again. We should do the paranormal for sure. And if we can ever like collab or something.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Like I said, I like you guys. You guys are pretty cool. Like I said, Like we jived so well. Like it was just like talking to friends. It wasn't even like an interview. It's like we were just talking about movies with each other. That's all it was. A couple of guys just chatting.
Yeah.
So we have an outro that we like to play, and by no means do you have to like stay and sit through it. Like you're free to go. This was awesome. Very much appreciate it.
No problem. Go ahead. I'll stay and watch it. It's all good. I still got my fire extinguisher with me. I'm good.
The preceding program has been brought to you by the Watchers Podcast Network. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends to help grow our network. Check us out on all social media platforms, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, thanks for your support.
JC, did you kill the recording?